Okay.
All right, we're there.
Here we are. Good afternoon and welcome to Clearly Go Live.
Go Live.
Go Live. You know, Sam, I was in the Tustin office yesterday and someone said, you need to redo the logo, you need to redo the sound music. I said, you clearly have not joined Go Live in the last couple of weeks because we've redone the logo, we've redone the sound music. You ask and you shall receive.
That's right. Well, to their credit, it's only been a few episodes.
It's only been a few episodes, I know. But you guys speak, we listen.
That's
only
right.
Took us 4 years. We did change the music. So welcome. And Sam, before we joined, Sam, you were saying that welcome to the official real estate season. Why did you say that?
Because it's post Super Bowl. So Super Bowl is like the starting point. On that Monday after the Super Bowl is when people are going to start shopping for homes again, right? Start coming to your open houses. So in the chat, if you held an open house Super Bowl weekend, how'd it go? Let us know. It'd be interesting to know.
You know, we were, Allison Jones and I met last week with a lot of our Lux directors.
Yep.
And we went around the table and asked them how their market was, and almost every single one of them had said that since the start of the year, market has picked up.
Oh yeah.
So very encouraging.
Good.
Very encouraging.
I like it.
So I think you have an ASA you want to share, and I got a couple really cool slides I want to share with the group before we get into our topic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So everyone knows that we use SkySlope, or if you're not necessarily with our particular company, you use a transaction management system. So my agent service announcement for this week is you all do a fantastic job in making sure that every signature is there, every I is dotted, every T is crossed, and you get all those documents in there. And the one thing that most people forget to upload into their transaction file is going to be all of those emails, all of those text messages, and any other ancillary communication, something or other.
Notes.
Whatever those may be. Even if you keep handwritten notes still, or you take notes down on, on your text app in your phone, all of those notes really should go into your transaction file. And here's why. So you could do everything absolutely perfect. And we know that that doesn't keep somebody from making a claim, right? From hiring an attorney and claiming that you did something inappropriate or wrong. And chances are, and in most cases, you didn't. And the documents themselves, the contracts, the counteroffers, the disclosures, what's written in there tells one story. But the deeper story is in the communication.
Right.
And so one of the things that I'm really proud of with our team and our risk management team is how quickly we're able to get you out of these circumstances when we have those notes.
Right.
When we can get to those deeper stories. So use an app, do what you need to do, screenshot, print screen, whatever, cut and paste. But those conversations are paramount.
Right, and it's a lot of work, but it's well worth it.
It is absolutely well worth it. And I'll speak to any of our, or all the TCs that are out there. Encourage all of your agents to do the same, and even offer some of your communications that you're having in the transaction. Offer those up to the agents that you're working with. But it's extremely important.
It doesn't help with the text messages. That's a whole other animal. But with our SkySlope program, you can have a unique email address, right, for each transaction. So if you get into the best practice of just including that in the BCC field, every email automatically becomes part of the communication log.
That is absolutely right.
So that saves you at least on the email thread. Text messages, different story.
Different story, but so that's my ASA for the week.
That's a real good ASA. So I think, Christina, we might have a slide, or not a slide, but some video to show. You want to do that one first? Yeah, because not only you said it's real estate season post Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
It is also award season, right? Just like it's the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars. For us, it's real estate award season. So it's the time of year that we love the most, where we get to celebrate and honor those that have had an outstanding performance in 2025.
Yes.
So our brand, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, recognizes on a global stage, right?
Yes.
So this is not just California properties. This is not just the United States. This is globally, so it takes into account our entire network.
Yep.
And so what you're going to see in just a moment is we're going to go through a slide carousel.
Should be up now. We're not seeing it.
Oh, we're
here,
not seeing the whole thing. So it's going to run through the top 25 individual agents. These are agents that work solo throughout the network. Top 25 small teams, the top 25 medium teams, and then of course we have the large teams and commercial. So you can see all of those attractive folks working extra hard.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
And then in addition to being in the top 25, some are even more distinguished to be in the top 10.
Yes.
And we don't actually know. I know they think we know, but we don't know where they fall within the top 10.
Yeah.
So you can bribe us all you want. We won't be able to tell you. I wish we know, but the only way we're going to find out is when we get to sales convention.
Yeah.
So if you're part of the top 25 and you want to be part of the excitement, you want to be up on stage, please join us in Nashville, March 22nd through the 24th. If you're not yet a member of the top 25, still join us in Nashville because it's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and we want to recognize your fellow agents. So help us recognize these folks.
And we've got a lot of content going out there. We're having a little bit of tech things going on right now.
Oh, but, we are? Okay.
In the chat for me, let me know if you guys are hearing us and seeing us.
They are.
They are. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Chris, if you just hover down there, you'll see down on over one more. There you go.
Great.
You're going to select. Yep.
So while she's doing all that, I want to also share with the group that Berkshire Hathaway, the enterprise, right, in 2025. So again, globally, 2025. Did 128 billion in sales.
Wow.
128 billion in sales globally. California Properties here, we did 12.5 billion, right? And I'm not a mathematician wizard. We're going to save the math for Stephen Thomas, who's going to join us in just a moment. But that's roughly 10%. And when you think of all the agents that are out there in the globe, all the operating companies, hundreds of operating companies, to have California Properties be responsible for 10% of the global sales volume, it's pretty impressive. So I'm super excited about that. So again, congratulations to all of our agents, small teams, medium teams, large teams, our commercial agents, and our individual agents. An impressive job. You guys work incredibly hard, and we're very, very proud of you and very grateful to get to work alongside of you every day. Again, congratulations to all of our agents, small teams, medium teams, large teams, our commercial agents, and our individual agents. An impressive.
Yep. Okay, good. All right, we're back. Forgive us. No worries. We're all good now.
We're back. All right. So again, I think we've gone through the entire slide. I don't want to shortchange anybody. Everyone got to be seen? Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can go ahead and close that.
Okay. We have a couple slides, and let's go to the old traditional slides because I do want to share a few things with the audience before we go into Stephen. Okay, so you're very involved in our Quick Win Collective. Without you, they wouldn't be on the air every Friday. So thank you for all that you do, Sam.
I appreciate it.
So every Friday, Jimmy Burgess has a mastermind group. They moved it from 8 to 9, right? So it's 9, thank goodness.
9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m.
Exactly. This Friday, we have Jason Pantana, who's a good friend of California Properties. We've had him speak on this show. We've had him at our Lux presentation, so we've had him a few times. He's going to talk about how to use AI, the importance of AI in searches, right? And the dominant, how it's becoming much more dominant now. It used to be back in the day Google, right? You wanted to make sure that you showed up on a Google search. And if you did, you got a lot of the leads that way. You became the dominant leader in a marketplace. That's changing.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Dramatically.
And a lot of our really top performing agents, if they haven't taken the time to learn how to, it's pretty simple. It's just a 2-step process. But if they don't take the time to learn how to do that, they're gonna get passed over. Right?
And he does such a fantastic job at really taking you through all of those different choices. And then he has a program that is a really in-depth program that if you choose to, you can sign up for, that will actually walk you through step by step all of these different resources that you can use as an agent for your particular area. So
super smart guy. You know, the one criticism I hear is that he's so smart, he just kind of overwhelms people sometimes, but I think Jimmy will kind of rein him in and keep him focused on the topic. So Christina, I think we might have put in the chat the link for register. There's also the short bit.ly link that's pretty easy. It's just bit.ly quick win, and that's the date, right? Obviously pretty simple, 2-13.
It's in the chat now, so if you click on that link that's in the chat right now, you can register for
and if we have friends joining us on YouTube, they can use that link as well, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Please, if you're outside the organization, consider joining that.
Come one, come all.
Come one, come all.
Absolutely.
You'll be glad you did.
In fact, we have a lot of people across the country from various organizations, and that's the one thing that Jimmy Burgess was really adamant about.
Right.
If we were going to do this, and Chris Kelly as well. We just want to inform the industry and help elevate the industry.
A rising tide, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to rise all boats. Okay, next slide, Christina. So again, same topic. I thought this was an interesting stat. 1,000 watt. We had 1,000 watt at the explosion, right?
Yes,
the West Coast explosion with Vince Lacey in Laguna Beach. So 61% of consumers said they used AI to find or evaluate the real estate agent. That's a huge increase from just a couple of years ago.
I was in the room when he said that, and the room went silent. You could have heard a pin drop.
You know why? Because most people in that room probably don't have it set up properly through AI, right?
And just so we are clear, what he was really referring to is going into ChatGPT and the person asking ChatGPT, who is the best realtor in whatever area? Right. Who should I be hiring? Which agent has this?
You can see, well, the prompt right there says, the consumer, show me the best agent in Montgomery County, PA that can sell my luxury home the quickest with the highest price. If you haven't done these simple steps in ChatGPT to kind of be the agent of choice, your name's not going to come up in that search.
It is going to be the new frontier. It's going to be the new race. I remember when everybody was racing to have a website.
Yep.
And when SEO was kind of in its early stages.
Yep.
And the people that got out in front of it and built their website so that SEO could find it and find it easily, we're at that frontier now with AI.
Yeah. So I know we put the link in there for Friday's Quick Win, but we have the two. These are from our good friend Rajiv.
Yep.
He's created these two ChatGPT, I don't know, what would you call them? They're custom GPTs, right?
Yep, custom GPTs.
So Christine, if you want to put the 1 and the 2 in the ChatGPT as well, they're easy to use links. If you click on the link, it's going to take you to ChatGPT and you can follow the prompts and easily walk it through yourself, or better yet, join the Quick Win Collective on Friday, and Justin will walk you through it as well.
Yep,
all right.
absolutely.
I think we got one more couple slides real fast, and we're going to get right to this. So I wanted the agents to know that the 2026 National Housing Outlook put out by Home Services of America, our parent company, has since been branded with Berkshire Hathaway as well, right? A lot of the consumers out there don't necessarily yet know that Berkshire Hathaway and Home Services of America are the same company. So we made sure that we've added the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services logo there. It is available on the marketing resource or the resource center page.
Yes.
If you go to the next slide, Christina, I thought it was appropriate to show some of these slides because this is what the content in the report looks like.
That's right.
Really robust, really graphic, really well done. And I thought it was fitting because Stephen does also provide us with great content, wonderful slides. This is a great way to just start a conversation with your clients. If you have a CRM where you're sending out a monthly newsletter, maybe send this instead. If you're at an open house and you want to capture someone's contact information, have a copy of this and offer to send it to them electronically, right? Because it is available in a flip book version.
Yes, it is. It's actually fantastic. And what I love most about this initiative, and I had an opportunity to talk to Chris Kelly, CEO of Home Services of America, and much like many of the other national companies, meaning like Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin, that put out their kind of forecast and what they're seeing from their company perspective, Chris Kelly is now taking our information that we've always had, but historically we shared it internally. Now we're telling the world and becoming a part of the conversation.
Or we siloed, right? All of our individual operating companies kept it California properties, New England properties. Now we're much more likely to share it across the platform. And now, like to your point, we're sharing it and taking our point of view outward.
Absolutely.
Right. So Christina, there's a couple more slides just so they get a flavor of what the pages look like. Again, beautifully laid out, a lot of content, and it's questions that your clients are asking.
Yep.
Right? So why not provide them to this and then have them contact you for a deeper analysis?
Yep.
I think there's one more page, and then we're going to be able to get to the real reason why people are here today. So again, I just want to make sure that our agents know that it's on the Resource Center, marketing resource, and it is now branded Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Please take advantage of it. It's there. We will be updating it halfway through the year, so come July, mid-year will be available. That will be January through June. So you'll
Good
be
stuff.
able to good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, what a wonderful segue, Sam. Thank you. Let's bring on the man of the hour, Stephen Thomas, who's got a lot of good stuff to share with us. Always very positive, even when the news isn't. But I think he's got some positive news to share with us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Good. How are we doing?
We're good.
Yeah,
Nice
we're
to see you.
spotlighting. Chris, we got to spotlight Stephen Thomas. Yeah.
There you are.
Go. Excellent.
As smiling as usual.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Nice to be seen. So let's go ahead and share the screen. It says my sharing has not been turned on, so that needs to be.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get that.
We can trust you. I think you've done this before.
Share settings.
A couple times. Yeah. Not there yet.
I think you're the most welcomed back guest we've ever had. You're not going to get an award for that, though. You're just going to get the title.
Yeah.
I think I sent a
Well,
request.
today's one of those days where,
That's okay. We're working through it. You know what?
Today,
2026. There we go.
You got it?
I have access.
All right.
right.
Awesome. Good job, Christina.
Yes. All right. There we go. Let's share this.
You know what it is? I just drove in from Los Angeles and from our family home, and my siblings were there, and I was telling them a little bit about what we're doing, and they're like, "Oh, send us a link so we can watch," because they're all still there. So wouldn't you know it?
Are they watching?
All of this is happening just so that they can tease me.
Of course.
Right?
That's
So,
okay.
Lots of love to all of you. Love you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Go live. First of the year. Of course, we're going to start with some fun photos. I didn't receive your buyer's offer. Can you send proof? Huh? Not in my hand.
Very different than a few years ago when you were showing like 15 offers in a line all around the block, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
This is an MLS photo. I just had to share MLS photos that are fun.
That's an MLS photo?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, that agent needs to be like, I don't know.
They need to remove that agent's license. I'm sorry, if you're
right.
listening, I'm sorry, forgive me, but
Shovel. You can
that's
use a
not one of
shovel
our
and a
agents.
pitchfork to clean that up.
Oh my
the
goodness.
drywall patching, I love the drywall patching.
Clients who won't use electronic signature.
Melissa Gilbert, I'm sorry.
Hey, we all watched that show. Come on.
I did.
So there we go. So really quick, everybody knows I'm a reports on housing, your local real estate snapshot. I'm a housing analyst. That's what I do for a living. I absolutely love it. Live and breathe it. And we have reports all over SoCal, Bay Area, Vegas, and Phoenix. And we're in the expectation setting business. So what I'm trying to do is help you set expectations for your clients. And so far this year, there have been a few reports. We started off, of course, the very end of the year, we do a not foreclosure, that's funny. A forecast for 2026, and we have it in written form. And then slow out of the gate. And couldn't even find, I'd had to pay an arm and a leg to find a picture like this. If you see that picture, I actually used AI to put that together.
Oh.
You see, it's already like 5 seconds. And he hasn't even gone through the thing. So obviously AI did like everything right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
Very slow
But
out of the
anyway,
gate.
this is just, the flavor of this was during the first 2 weeks, we actually slowed down. And that's because everybody's going, what's going on? I said, it's still the holidays. It's a holiday market through the middle of January. And my birthday was on the 14th. So January 14th was a Wednesday. And there's still a few more days. Then that weekend, when you turn on, it goes from the holidays because people are still in the gym on that week. of the 12th, 13th, 14th. And then it comes to the weekend, they're going, I'm done with waiting for a treadmill. And then we jump into the winter market. So that's a normal occurrence. It was just felt a little more sluggish in some markets. Then prepare for launch, which we're going to talk about that today. Prepare for launch. That is our winter market. And we do it every year. We do this. And then one of the most recent reports that came out is called Early Trends. We've seen some trends. I'm going to share with you one of them, the one that's actually on the right-hand side that will demonstrate what's going on that we weren't anticipating. So we wanted to share with you what kind is going on so that you're better equipped. This is where you go, reportsonhousing.com. That's where you go to subscribe. It's $20 per month or $200 per year. You get a month free if you utilize the coupon code SOLD, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to put those up on a whole bunch of our listings, sold. All right, so I'm a nut. I absolutely love everything that has to do with the analytics. We have a economic model we follow, but it's called a progression model because things are constantly changing. Things happen today. We actually have lower rates today. And that was because of a retail sales report that was soft for the month of December. So these are the things that I follow. Yeah, I get excited about this stuff. So
yeah,
so 2026 launch. This is a throwback. Remember when we did these space shuttles? But that's what it feels like. Always we get to that, we're getting into the third week of the new year, and then all of a sudden we take off, and we get to the Super Bowl, and everybody goes, "This is the best time to come on the market," when it's not really that. Super Bowl is closer to March 1st, but. We have 5 seasons we've talked about this before. There are 5 seasons. There's spring is number 1. Then we have summer. And this is in terms of pending sales demand. So number 1 is spring, then it's summer, then it's fall, then it's winter. And the slowest season are the holidays. That actually is the week before Thanksgiving, and it lasts 2 weeks into the first couple of weeks. You have to get to the middle of the month of January before it transitions to the winter. And that's what so many people forget. That occurs. But once we get into the winter market, which we are in the midst of right now, we're finally going to get some winter weather. It was cold. I actually liked my jacket today for the first time in like a month. But even though it's technically doesn't feel like winter outside, our market behaves the same every year. And that's where supply rises slowly and can even be flat for the last couple of weeks, that type of thing. But demand surges, and this occurs every year. And we're going to get into the housing inventory, but demand surges, and I'll show you later exactly where it is the absolute prime time. But this is a really good time to come on the market. Now, as far as the housing inventory, we've talked about this couple many different times. They did everything right. They got married, they bought a house like in 2015, had some babies, they're running out of room, but they refinanced during COVID years. They have like a 2.8% interest rate, and yet they used to have a much higher interest rate, but they love having this low interest rate. So they're going to Cancun 4 times per year, and they're going helicopter skiing because they have so much extra discretionary income because they refinance. But it gets to a point where they're doing so much on their porch, and the kids are getting older that they might want to move. But for right now, they're staying and they're hunkering down. Now, I got a nice little holiday present on December 26th. The National Mortgage Database was released, and that's this giant Excel spreadsheet where I can find out so much information. One of them is actually across the United States, 40% of all United States homeowners own their homes free and clear. In California, it's 31%, which both are record for our state just because we're more expensive. But it's a record for the United States as well. But if 31% have a no loan at all, that means that 69% have a loan. And of those, 77% of Californians have an interest rate at 5% or lower, and 62% have an interest rate at 4% or lower. 28% have an interest rate at 3% or lower. And I keep on doing this over and over again, but what I want you to know is this used to be 32% had an interest rate at 3% or lower. Now it's 28%. Across the United States, it's actually 20%. So California is home to a very large amount of people that have loans that have interest rates at 3% or lower, which you can argue would prevent them from moving. But like I said, this couple used to have a higher mortgage rate. So, and that happens quite a bit. People say they're locked in, but not necessarily, because you can see over time, and I want everybody to see this, that orange dot is 2026. And this is how we built our inventory. In 2023, that was the blue line. Nothing came on the market. This is for all of SoCal. And you compare that to, we placed the very, very similar number of homes on the market every single month, year in, year out, prior to the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit and made things differently. And then once interest rates went up and everybody had these low rates, it also has prevented many people from placing their homes on the market. And in 2023, nothing came on the market, which is why, even though we had low demand with higher rates, we had low inventory. So that low inventory actually trumped the low demand, and it's like that supply and demand scale. We had very low demand, but actually we had such a low supply that it favored sellers in that supply and demand scale. Now you see the purple line, that was 2024. We started placing more homes in the market, but demand didn't change. So more homes coming on the market started to accumulate, and it started to even out that scale a little bit. In 2025, even more. And there were some markets, like in Orange County, it was like flat. In LA and San Diego, it was down a little bit year over year, but that phenomenon has changed over time. And Ventura County was actually down a little bit as well, but it's changing like this in all different markets. Now that 2026 is the orange dot. That was January of this year, and you could see for Southern California, it was almost identical to 2025. The big thing that was surprising to me is because there are a number of people that pulled their homes off the market in 2025. There was far more than 2024. And I think that I might have that. Okay. And in 2024. Now, what we were anticipating was even more homes to come on the market during the first couple of weeks of the year, because of the return of those extra people that pulled their homes off the market compared to 2024 at the end. But it was actually, even with that extra push, it was still the same number, which leads me to believe that we're not going to make our way back up to the 3 years prior to COVID. So we're still got a diminished number of homes on the market. And this actually has a lot of housing analysts like myself scratching their head going, this isn't what we expected. Yeah. So we actually have better interest rates, which means that pending sales activity will be stronger, but the inventories won't change that much. As a matter of fact, they'll probably go down if the same number of homes are coming on the market as last year, with an increase in push in demand.
Now, Stephen, with that said, because we're seeing some softening in prices in certain areas, does that mean that demand has come down a little bit more than we've expected? Given that
it was earlier,
or it hasn't picked up yet. It hasn't caught up to it.
Hasn't. Yeah, you actually were seeing demand that soften in some areas during 2025. We were starting to see in the numbers recent months. We're actually seeing values go up in many markets that were down for last year on a month-to-month basis. Month to month, they're actually growing. So that is because of the lower rates. And we're actually going to see the lower rate environment match up with our winter and spring, and it's going to bring some extra juice. So year over year for all of SoCal, it's just down by 78 signs. So this just shows you that we're missing for sell signs is really what this tells you. We have down 1%. Year over year, it's up 24% compared to 2024, and it's up 46% compared to 2023, the blue line. Wow. And it's still down 13% from the 3-year average prior to the pandemic, the green line. And this is the number of homes coming off the market that I said, all the people, that new term delisted, all the homes pulled off, canceled, expired, withdrawn. It always elevates in December, because now by the time you get to the holidays, a whole bunch of people pull their homes off the market. They were not successful. This also, and if you see year over year, it's actually up 59%, up 31,500 in 2025 versus 2024. And really, and you can see how much higher that is than the 3-year average prior to the pandemic. The reason it was so high is because we have a number of homeowners that place their homes on the market as sellers, and they don't really have to sell. That's what these data points tell me, that we have all these people that don't really have to sell, and once they don't get their price, They're out of here. They tap out, and they all don't come back on the market. A lot do during the first couple of weeks and during the spring, but a lot don't. So this is the inventory over time. You could see about January of 2022, that's where it gets down to the lowest amount. It was like at 10,000 homes. That's like not enough homes. We have over 30,000 right now, but this is nothing in compared to where we were prior to during the Great Recession. It probably exceeded 110,000 for all of SoCal. So we just still don't have the inventory compared to where we were during the Great Recession. And that's why values won't ever plunge in our area. So this is where we are. This orange line is this year. And you can see how it took off, but you can see how it sputtered out. The reason it took off, and it took off like that last year, the red line, it took off and then sputtered out. It's because of all the people that delisted and come on during the first couple of weeks and really slowed down our marketplace. But you could see last year we built quite a line. I don't think we're going to build as high of a line this year. January 29th, we were at 31,460. That was up 3%. And in a 2-week period of time, 873 homes. Last year, at the same time, we were at 28,912. That's the red line, which is 8% less, 2,500 fewer homes for all of SoCal. And the 3-year average is 34,622. That's the green line. I don't think we're going to pass the green line like we did last year. And then we came down at the end. Today, we're at 31,513. That went up 0.2%. So it's very, very flat. Remember, this is January 29th. I'm now updating it to today. That's not a big change in what is that, a 12-day period. So where do we typically peak? We typically peak between July and the end of August during the summertime. The problem is in recent years, because we had higher rates in 2023 and in 2024, we peaked all the way in during the fall instead of the summer. But last year, the red line, you could see we peaked right there at the beginning of July. And where do I think we're going to go? I think we're even going to peak there, but I think it's going to cross underneath of last year because of the same number of homes coming on the market, and we anticipate more demand hitting the system. We have a little bit more, and we'll get into that in a second. I'm doing this so that everybody understands where we're at and where we are headed for the beginning of this year. And it's kind of mapping out to kind of what we forecasted. So demand is definitely rising right now, and it comes on really hot and heavy because we go from nobody, buyers not playing at all and looking at during the holidays to the middle of January, all of a sudden they start coming out more and more. And as the year progresses from there, as the weeks progress, there's more and more and more buyers that are looking. And I'm using this, I used to use 5,000, but I want everybody to see 7,000 because this is a price point that kind of is a price point that we're all like kind of striving for. It's pretty much the middle of the market for along the coast. And you could see it with 20% down and wanting $7,000 per month. When interest rates were at 7%, you'd look at a 1.315 for the $1,315,000 house. Now that interest rates are very close to 6%, you're looking at a $1,460,000 house. This is the rate that I actually want, is 6.0. I actually don't want it in the 5s yet because my millennials and Gen Zs, I want them, they would be fighting in the entry-level price ranges, and we all know what that is. Up and down the coast, it's $750,000 to $1 million is the starter home now. And what would happen is all the millennials and Gen Zs would be competing against each other, and we'd have too many multiple offers, and we'd have values going up too quickly if we were into the 5s. Because you could see in the 5s, now you're looking at $1,541,000 house at 5.5%. So you could see how it went from $1,315,000 to $1,541,000. That's too big of a shift. I want to get to the 5s like everybody else, but baby steps. I want to get there the second half of this year. I think would play really well for our millennials and Gen Zs who have had a rough time purchasing homes. And I've actually shown you this before, but this is just a reminder what happens with rates when they fall. We'll actually get more activity because this is a survey, and I don't know who answers surveys. I want a survey on who answers surveys because nobody answers surveys. When I ask a room full of people, there's usually 1 or 2 hands that go up. But you can see this is the red line is the third quarter of 2025, and this is done by Resi Club. And you can see at 7%, only 14% of all homeowners would consider moving with that kind of a rate that they'd have to trade to. At 6%, it's now 52%. And at 5.5%, you're now looking at 2/3, 66%. So you could see that as interest rates come down, it will open up the pool of more for sell signs. But remember, those sellers typically become buyers too. So it just adds to more churn and more transactions, which is good news. But I just wanted to show this, that it shows you as rates fall that more homeowners are inclined to actually move. Because a lot of people have been putting their real estate desires and goals on hold, but you can see that they've been holding off for a few years, where we're missing about 1 million extra deals for 3 years now, and it's all because of these higher rates. And as rates come down, that's pent up buyers' demand that's waiting for rates to come down. They're also waiting for prices to crash, but they're realizing that that's not what's going to happen as much as they want it to. But you could see on the right-hand side, that's 20, 23, 24, 25. And on the very, very right-hand side, that little needle, that is the beginning of 2026. And so this is where we are at right now as far as demand is concerned. We're at January 29th, we're at 9,023. You could see how we started off low. It actually went down for the first 2 weeks and then turned around and now is going higher. And it's skyrocketing up. It went up 2,162 pending sales, 32% in a 2-week period of time. And remember, this is all in January 29th, so it's 12 days ago. Last year, we were at 8,867, which is 2% less, or 156 fewer pending sales. That's the red line. The 3-year average prior to the pandemic is 14,041. So we're missing a lot of demand. I think this year we're going to go from where we've been hanging out. You could see the red, blue, purple lines to a little bit higher than that. Because already today we're at 10,308, which is up 14%. And I believe that year over year, it's already growing year over year, and it's only going to grow even more year over year as this year goes. It's kind of like that flywheel. I don't know if you've read the book Good to Great, but you get that flywheel going, but once it starts going, it starts really moving, and that's the way that we think that we're going to see more pending sales activity materialize in more closed transactions this year. Now, this is good for everybody to know, and be prepared for it. Do all your homework, get out there, knock on doors, do all of your legwork for making things happen, because this is where demand will peak. It's typically between right at the end of March, 4th week of March to the end of May is where we have a peak in demand. And what we think is going to happen is it's going to overshoot the last few years and start its own curve, not going all the way up to the 3-year average prior to the pandemic, but making its way somewhere above the last few years and breaking out so we do more transactions. And that's because we have a better balance with lower rates, with more homes on the market, and demand can now push up a little bit higher as we have this lower rate environment. Now, the speed of the market, place your home on the market, when are you going to open up as an escrow? You could see that this is where it went up high and then it's come down. And in the very, very middle, that's when we had 5% interest rates in 2018, in November 2018. This is where we are right now. And you have to understand, expected market time is not the same as days on market. I will get in a future episode, I'll explain the difference. It is very important that we don't hang our hats on days on market. It's just looking at the days on market on individual comps and talking about it, where they've been, their track record. That's important. But as far as the speed of the market, days on market is a horrible speedometer. It will not tell you how fast you're going. Now, our expected market time does, and that's why during the first 2 weeks, we had days on market dropping, but our expected market time was rising because demand wasn't really going up. It went down a little bit, but we actually had inventory going up a lot during the first 2 weeks. That was the relisting. So it slowed down. And I had agents go, "What's going on?" I said, "Holidays." Still the holidays. You can see that this is where we are right now. It was 105 days, but it went down 29 days in a 2-week period of time. So it was making its way up towards 140, and it just dropped like a rock and made its way down to 105. So, and that's where it was 12 days ago. Last year, we were at 98 at the same time period. That's where the red line is. It's below the 100. And the 3-year average is 76. That's the green line. And where are we at today? 92. And it's dropping. I don't take the numbers until Thursday night, and I imagine this is going to make its way down into the 80s. It's just going to start to get hotter. And where do I think we're going to go? Well, first of all, I need you to know that about halfway through February through the end of April is the speediest time of the market. And that's about where we're at. But you can see what I actually think is going to happen is we're going to dive underneath of last year's speed and then hang maybe in the upper 70s for all of SoCal. Each market is different, but this is what we have to anticipate. And we'll have to see how it materializes after that, because we had a slowdown of that housing market because we didn't have as much demand. But if we have more demand and we have the same number of homes coming on the market, the expected market time could actually go flat from there and hang there so it doesn't slow as the year progresses. But we'll have to see how the rest of the market unfolds as we drive into spring. LA last year was at 96. This year is at 101, 101 days. Orange County was at 61 and now is at 68 days right now. This is a year ago. San Diego was at 75 last year and is at 74. And it was a lot slower year over year, but San Diego's been speeding up quite a bit recently. And Ventura was at 71 last year at this time, and it's 67 days right now. Santa Barbara was at 108 last year and is at 116. And so now you kind of get where everything's at. Each market is a little bit different. A lot of that also has to do with price points. And from here, it will continue to drive down for the next few weeks, and we might see the best time in the market between March 1st and the second week of March, mid-March.
Hey, Stephen, really quickly, if you don't mind, I'm curious to know how you would explain expected market time versus days on market to the client. I don't want you to go deep into the differences, but to a client,
I'm going to show you guys a chart later. If we have time, I could even do it today, but I definitely will be teaching you. Really, it's all the homes available on the market today. And then what we do is we took the available homes and we do a division and divide it by demand, a snapshot of the last 30 days of pending sales activity. It's kind of like there's this term called absorption rate, and what so many people, how they got it wrong across the United States to talk about absorption rate, they do it based upon closed sales. They say pending sales is not a good barometer, and that's because they don't do a snapshot. I've been doing the same thing over time, and it really is a true reflection of what's going on in the marketplace right now, because pending sales activity changes. Like right now, it's definitely getting faster. We're adding more and more pending sales activity. We're watching escrow officers have more on their desk. We're seeing more offers written. And we know that the inventory level is not surging. So that's why the market's speeding up. Days on market will not capture that. Yeah. And the reason why I came up with expected market time in the 1990s as a way to counter everybody that was talking about the days on market, and I hated it as a statistic because it didn't properly illustrate what was going on to my clients. Because back then I represented buyers and sellers, and I would explain it based upon, in your upper ranges, and there's 35 homes on the market today. It would be above $2.5 million. Let's say there's 35, and there's one that goes into pending sale status within the last 30 days. That's a pretty slow absorption rate, and that's kind of what we're doing. But we're doing it based upon pending sales rather than closed sales, because closed sales is a reflection of markets in the past. Correct. And so, I'll do a better demonstration of that going forward, so you can really understand, because we really want to understand how we go moving forward. And I can even in a future episode show you how to calculate this within a given area as well. So So rates are extremely important, and rates are going to drive where pending sales activity goes from here. So that is why we watch it so very, very closely. Because if rates were all of a sudden, because we're getting a weird jobs report. We're supposed to get it last Friday, but we had a government shutdown for like 3 days. It affected one of my data points again. We're supposed to get a jobs report last Friday. We're going to get it tomorrow instead. So stay tuned. I mean, if this jobs report was a lot less than expectations, we could see interest rates dive to 6, even 5.99, 5.98. So we'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
So
that
brings
segue
us to our next segment. But first, I think we're bringing somebody in.
We're going to bring in someone who knows interest rates very, very well. Greg Roberts from Prosperity Home Mortgage. So Greg, please join the conversation. I do want to remind our audience, if you have a question, please use the chat.
Or Q&A.
Or the Q&A, but if you raise your hand, we won't be able to call on you. So just use the chat or the Q&A, and then we'll be able to read your question to our panelists. So Greg, What
Perfect.
say you about PHM and interest rates? And I'm sure you have some exciting news to share with us.
Oh, yes, I do. Good afternoon, everybody, and everyone out in Go Live land. What I want to talk to today is about strategy and solutions to help you win more clients in 2026. And how are we going to do that? It's a two-pronged approach. One is protecting your relationships with Prosperity's client strategy. And number two is converting more buyers with PHM's lending solution. Protecting your relationships. Why does this matter so much now in today's marketplace? Competitors like Rocket slash Redfin, Compass, Guaranteed Rate are building one-stop shops to solicit your clients. The fight for consumer relationships and that data has never been stronger than it is right now. Our response is simple. We stay connected, we stay visible, and we help you stay valuable to you and your clients long after the transaction is over. So how does PHM help you stay sticky with your clients? We do a 7-year agent co-branded client journey after the deal closes. So for 7 years, we are going to reinforce you and your relationship with that client via semi-annual survey, their birthday, market reports. You get these emails in real time like your client is getting them. So you're aware of what's going out to your client every time. But at PHM, we're strengthening your relationship with your client versus someone trying to take it away. And then our other approach is how we're going to convert more buyers with Prosperity's home loan solutions. As Stephen talked about, interest rates. Everyone's wondering what the Fed's going to do, what direction they're going to take, how the job report's going to come out and make it sound. But the whole thing is it's speed, efficiency, and having the programs and seasoned bench to be able to get you to the finish line in the fast, most expeditious way with people that know what they're doing and know how to put together loans and help you in your transactions. So how do we do that? We help you compete by offering different programs. Our FHA program, which everyone is aware of, has been offered in your offices for the last couple of weeks. We're continuing that promotion because it's been so well received. So that program will continue. PHM is paying the buy down on that for 1 year on behalf of the client. We also have our
since we have people that maybe not in an office or haven't been in an office recently, do you just give the highlights of that FHA program where you're doing the buy down?
So basically the FHA program, we're offering a free 1-year buy down, which brings the rate down as low as 4.49%.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's why you can see why I wanted him to repeat it.
Yes, that is fantastic.
PHM is covering the cost, and we continue to promote that program. Originally, it was just going to be a 2-week promotion. We've now gotten that extended.
What's the qualifying rate?
4.49.
Oh, so you qualify at that rate because
Correct.
it's a permanent buy down.
Correct.
Wow.
I know. See? So why keep waiting for the feds to lower the rate when you have the power in your hand right now?
Well, and there's all kinds of talk about the temporary buy downs, the 2-1, 3-run buy downs, and everybody seems to get excited about that. But this is a permanent buy down, and the qualifying rate is below 5?
It's a permanent.
Oh my gosh.
It's a one-year buy down. So it's a
okay.
1-year buy down.
Got it. Okay.
So 1 year and then it converts. But the whole thing is that people are looking at affordability and trying to squeeze into that first house. It helps them considerably.
Yep.
Another
Either
product,
way, it's still great.
Another product that's very hot right now is our 7-year ARM product. That is competing against private money rates. We have a new doctor loan coming out. The doctor loan you will be hearing a lot about starting tomorrow in your offices. It's 100% financing, no MI, up to $2 million. Student loan flexibility for residents and fellows. We will take a future employment dated up to 150 days out. So they don't even have to be working yet, and they could get a $2 million loan and they're not starting at that job for 150 days. So we're going to send out more information about that. But the most important thing I want to say is the Path to Prosperity loan products, our Home Sure Advantage, our $30,000 on-time closing guarantee, all these help you with speed and execution to help your clients and make you look like the star on referring them to PHM. And my ask is that you loop PHM in early on the transaction so that we can structure the solutions to help you win more business in 2026. So thank you guys very much for the time today.
Thank you, Greg. We got some questions. Let's make sure that they don't relate to what you just told us. I know, Deborah, you'd like Stephen at a future show to show us how to calculate what he was explaining. So we will definitely do that for us.
But the on the doctor loans, really quickly, is that for principal residents only?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, good.
Okay.
And we're going to have, there's all types of a lot of doctor programs don't include vets. This one includes vets.
Oh.
So if you're on the doggy brigade, there's a lot of opportunity there. So we will be sharing all the details of
veterinarians, not veterans, is what you're referring to, right? So
doctor program,
veterinarians.
Yeah.
Oh, right
They
on.
do have a vet program, but that's
a different program.
Yeah,
that's for another episode.
Another show.
Greg,
Another
thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you, Greg. Hang tight. We'll come back to you if you have any other questions for you. So back to you, Stephen. Let's wrap it up.
You betcha. All right, sharing again. There we go. All right, that's fantastic. The what a great program. Getting them underneath of 5%. Holy cow, Sam, you're right. That should move the needle, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody should be on the phones talking to every single open house attendee that ever came through, right? Like,
right.
Why are they watching this?
What are they waiting for?
This. Go get on the phone.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. So Federal Reserve shakeup in housing. That, when rates come down, home affordability will definitely improve, and that is why we've heard so much about this new Fed pick. And the Fed pick was actually Kevin Warsh, and he's actually prior to. If you listen to his stuff from 2 years ago, you'd think that he'd want to hike rates to the moon. So. But from what I understand, that he's going to be more on the dovish side, conciliatory, and wants to cut. But I'm not getting into that. A lot of people are super excited, thinking, hey, you know what? Rates are going to come down. Oh my God, this is going to be great. We're getting a new Fed president. It's going to be a big change. Rates are going to fall. But wait a minute. You know what? Just don't everybody get too excited. We have to reel in the enthusiasm and kind of explain the process a little bit, because there's a lot of confusion surrounding it. And this is the Federal Reserve. We talked about them before. There are a total of 19 members, and Jerome Powell is he's got the silver hair on the left. You could see his face. He's looking down. That's him. But I wanted to explain it this way so everybody understands it. See, there are 12 different people that vote. There's 19 total. And I'll get into that in a second. But I want you to understand that 7 up at the top are Board of Governors. Those are installed by the President of the United States. Jerome Powell is one of those. He was installed, and then he was also is running it. He's the chair of the Federal Reserve. Now, the other 12 are regional bank areas. There are 12 regional banks. We're on the left, which I still don't understand why New York gets to vote every single time. They're number 2. And they get a vote every single time, and yet we've got such a giant region. California on its own is the 4th biggest. It was the 5th, now it's the 4th largest gross
region.
Domestic product out of the world, if we were to stack them up among other countries. And in about 5 years, it'll become number 3. So California should have its own vote every single time. But nonetheless, there are 12 different Federal Reserve regions, and they each have a president that is installed by a board of directors, not by the President of the United States. And this is the best way to understand it. You see 7 faces. Those are the 7 faces up at the top. Down below, those are the 12. I've highlighted the 4 that are currently voting right now, because Cleveland and Chicago, they rotate every 2 years. The other areas, including San Francisco, they rotate every 3 years. They're all sitting around the table talking about different things, talking about policy, but only 12 get a vote. Now, in order for the rates to go down or up, or it takes, out of the 12, it takes a majority, 7 out of 12. Not 1, not Jerome Powell in the 1. He's not all by himself and gets to make policy the way that he wants to. So I want everybody to understand that. Now, Kevin Warsh, who was picked, now where's he go? Everybody thinks he just replaces Jerome Powell. But Jerome Powell, actually, typically the chair leaves. But in order to preserve the Federal Reserve's independence, he can stay on for 2 more years because his term is actually not done. They typically just bow out and say, I'm out of here. I was the chair. But then he might stay on to protect the integrity of the Federal Reserve. And this guy on the right-hand side, that's Steve Miranda, he actually is selling off to the sunset. And what really will happen is Jerome Powell will take Steve's spot because Steve is only temporary from September and it was a temporary role. And then Kevin Warsh will now lead it with his gavel. They all come together and they put together what looks like it's their speaking points. They read it out loud. And then they do this 8 times per year on a Wednesday. And then after they read it out loud, they do a Q&A. They also tell you what they're going to do with the policy rates. And those 12 that are circled in yellow get to vote this year for 2026. It just rotated. And so they are going to vote. It takes 7 out of 12. Not 1, not 2, 7. If it's 6 out of 12, it's a tie. And I wanted everybody to understand that so they know really how fundamentally it works. And they're from both sides of the aisle, including Jerome Powell, who was installed by Trump during the first administration. So people, they're like so shocked that this is how it works. And I still, even after I explain this in big groups of agents afterwards, I still get people to think that they're political and that they try to ruin an election and all this stuff. I hear so much stuff. But I want everybody to understand that the Federal Reserve has this dual mandate. It is just maximum employment and price stability. That's it. And we're going to find out how jobs is doing tomorrow. That's a very, very important interest rate driver. And it changes. They change their policy 8 times per year. Interest rates change every single day, sometimes several times in a day. And they're very, very data dependent. My data was shut off last year. The entire month of October has a big asterisk, but they were reopened. Then they were shut down again at a couple weekends ago on Saturday. And then they reopened it on Tuesday, but I was supposed to get my numbers on Friday for the jobs, but now we're getting them tomorrow instead. But so our water is turned back on right now. Now, as far as jobs are concerned, this is what is going to come out tomorrow. And this is for the month of January. And you can see that job creation has been going down over time. And that you can see that unemployment has been going up over time. Recently, it dipped down. That was more of a calculation type of thing because the government was shut down for so long. They made some weird analysis that some of us economists don't agree with. But just know that overall, jobs is deteriorating, which is putting weight on rates to go down. Now, inflation has been going up a little bit, but it's not out of control. And recently, this is a little bit lower than what expectations are, and that's because there's a problem with, again, with the government being shut down as long as it was. They say that there was like 0% inflation for the month of October, but it's really about 3% inflation. Now, 2% is where they say they want to be, but they arbitrarily made that back in 2012. So it was recently that they did that. So know that, and if you go back in time, a long, long time, the United States, the average inflation is actually 3%. So making the inflation wish to be 2% is actually a recent phenomenon. And it could be argued that it really doesn't have to be, it could be 3% and it really wouldn't make much of a difference. So these are what rates have done over time. And as a matter of fact, today, the 10-year treasury was down, so were interest rates. But this is where rates a year ago were a full percentage point higher. So it being a full percentage point lower right now means that buyers have about extra 10% in buying power, which will make a difference for our spring because we have not had interest rates below 6.5% that matched up with our spring or winter market. In the last 2 years, we didn't have it. So this is going to be really good. And it marched its way down from the end of May all the way until we got to September 3rd. It slowly but surely went down lower and lower until even October, you could see it went down lower. And it's been since September 3rd on, it's been 5 months that we've been below 6.5%. This feels real. This was our base case, and it's making its way towards 6% again. At 6.11% is where it is as of today. So today it's at 6.11%. It's making its way back down. It almost hit 6%. And the only reason it looks like a W right there, the only reason why it shot up is because that was one little, I don't even know what they call it, a tweet, whatever. It was when they said that they're going to take over Greenland and we might even put troops on there. That was a geopolitical thing that overnight, just the message alone made rates go up, which is why I don't really care for politics, because politics messes up my line. I want to be at 6%. That's where I want to be. So, and I'm bent on getting there. And we're almost there at 6.11%. Now, this guy just holds a gavel. And I want everybody to understand that he is not going to orchestrate all of a sudden interest rates to get into the fours. Instead, you guys have a product where you can get in the fours right now. Don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. You don't need Kevin Warsh to be the person that single-handedly is going to bring down interest rates. And this is just for your own edification. If you Google the term Nixon, and President Nixon and Arthur Burns, that's the guy to the right of Nixon, he actually did the president's bidding. He wrote about it, regretted it, and it actually caused some serious repercussions with inflation and higher interest rates as a result of the policy of reducing the federal funds rate unnecessarily. So just do your own research. That's my thing. Do your own research and figure things out and know why people like me, economists, say, don't touch the Fed. Leave them independent. Everything will work out. We're getting a slower jobs. We could get rates down. So reportsandhouse.com, that's where you go to subscribe. It's $20 per month or $200 per year. You get a month free if you utilize the coupon code SOLD.
Sold.
So there you go.
Well, that's $20 a month well spent.
It's actually a fantastic report.
Yeah.
I get the San Diego one every time, and in fact, his opening line, he showed it at the beginning. Kudos to your opening line on, I think it was the Orange County report. He's quoting Trader Joe
the chocolate croissants.
Chocolate croissants. Not only is it a lesson in economics, but it's a lesson in great copy.
Yeah. What caught your attention? Well, I think he might be using ChatGPT.
that one's not. Have you ever had them?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
They're
I had one
pretty
of my
good.
agents, my subscribers actually came and said, you know what? I was lying in my bed and I am super mad at you. I've been a subscriber since 2012. And he went out and got those croissants, chocolate croissants. It is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, he didn't know about them prior, so yeah, thank you very much. There goes my January 1st resolution. So we do have some questions for Greg Roberts and for one for you. I think, Greg, you're answering some of the questions in the chat, so thank you very much, Greg, for doing that.
Yep.
Greg, if you want to come back on, I think, though, you've answered a lot of the questions already.
Yeah, he did answer some in the chat there.
Okay.
It does say after the, there's a question in here, it says after the rate buy down expires, what will the rate jump up to? Is that go up by 1%?
It's 1% above the, so basically it's a 1 year, 1% buy down.
Okay.
So you're still
$4.99 to $5.99.
Yeah, it's still under 6.
Correct. It's still an incredible program. It's still, and the whole thing is, if and when interest rates go down, we will then refi you and you don't have to pay the underwriting fee to PHM. We refine your rate guarantee.
What can you remind? Maybe it's too difficult to say real quickly, but the max loan amounts. I know it varies by county.
On the county, so it's about 830,000. Call it.
Okay.
Between
across
San Diego,
footprint.
Orange County, Ventura, Los Angeles. Each of them are a little bit different. Santa Barbara, unfortunately, gets the lower end of the stick. Don't ask me
no
why.
Sense.
Which makes no sense with the high end up there. But they are always the lower price on the totem pole when it comes to the rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Stephen, again, we're getting more questions, more requests to have you show us how to calculate that. So
we're going to do it.
He's back every other month.
Yep.
So
we'll do
just
it
add
next
it to
time.
your calendar. We'll do it next time for sure.
Yeah, we're excited to have that. Hey, Stephen, really quickly, again, putting you on the spot one last time. For some of those people, for some of our agents, or even maybe buyers maybe watching this show, and they are saying that they want to wait until either interest rates come down or the prices come down, why would you, in one or two sentences, why would you tell them not to wait and take advantage now?
Because prices aren't going to plunge. We're missing the true element of, we don't have imbalance in inventory. We don't have too many homes on the market. we have a just amount of right homes on the market, really. Demand might be low. That's the only reason why they think prices should plunge, because of unaffordability. But we just don't have sellers that really have to sell. There's not enough must sells. So that creates a much better balance, and prices aren't going to erode fast. So that's one of the first things. The second thing is, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you've been waiting for interest rates to make its way down underneath of 6% and stay there with duration, it has been since August of 2022. The only way that happens is if we have more unemployment or something like that, but that could be short-lived. The base case for almost everybody out there is between 6 and 6.5% for rates. So I don't know what people are waiting for when you have you just talked about such a great program with FHA right now. It's just pull the trigger now.
Right.
And just meet with them, see what you qualify for, and at the end of the day, then pull the trigger. Only they know if it's a good time for them financially, and then pull the trigger. You cannot time a market. It is next to impossible. You can refinance down the road, but even that, we've learned, that could be a very long haul. So just meet with your lender, qualify, and then pull the trigger.
Meet with your PHM lender.
That's right.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you,
Greg.
so much.
I appreciate both
you
of
guys.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
We
everybody.
ran a little long,
Bye-bye.
so we're just going to pull up our quote real fast. Thank you, Christina. Because you learned a lot.
So our
That's not
quote,
our
our
quote.
quote
That
for
is not our
today.
quote.
Sorry, we're hijacking this show today, and I want to take just a moment to wish you an absolutely happy birthday.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's cute.
It is well deserved. We know that you are turning 27 again.
Times 2 plus.
But I want you to know, on behalf of everyone at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services California Properties, we are so proud of everything that you do. And so many people don't get to see behind the scenes. And I'm here to tell you, everyone, that the amount of effort and hard work and just heart and soul that this man puts into everything that we do every single day for all of you is quite amazing. So
Thank
with
you,
that,
Sam.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, man.
Okay. Was not expecting that.
Show him some love. Find
All
him
right.
on Instagram. Go give him some love there.
I'm
So,
getting plenty of love. Thank you, everybody. I feel it.
Good.
I feel old too. I feel
Not
that
at
as
all.
well.
Not at all.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Stay tuned next week. We have a fantastic show. I'm old. I don't remember the topic.
It's all right.
You do.
I don't think I do.
Oh,
Oh, AI.
AI. Okay. We have our
that's right.
in-house AI
That's
expert.
right. Yes.
Thank you, Christina.
Very good. So join us Friday morning for AI, and then Tuesday, again, AI. We're all about AI.
You cannot get enough AI.
Keep going. Thank you
Keep
so
going.
much.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Be well.
Enjoy.